Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Munce Report. Well Chris, it's been a big week for the stable. The March Magic Million sales taken centre stage and it's also been a big week on the track also.
It's been a good week, Adam. Yeah, we've certainly had plenty to get our head around, horses for sale and horses racing and everything, so it's been pretty busy.
And just to give everyone an insight, obviously the sale started Monday, you're down at the Gold Coast for that, you're putting your hand up, you're buying horses, and then 2 a.m. you wake up to come up to Eagle Farm here to watch track work, and then you're back down to the sales and putting your hand up again to buy some more.
Yeah, it was pretty busy. I had a passenger in the car with me, and Phil Gutsky as well, who drove back on Tuesday morning. He wanted to watch his horses work, and I thought, well, it's as good a time of any. So he come for a drive back and kept me awake and watched his horses gallop.
Very good. Well, good on you, Phil, for that bit of company. And we'll talk more about the purchases in the show coming up, as well as we've also got some owner education, a little insight with the Farrier Gary, who you enjoy some particular bit of banter with. So look out for that one, and let's get into the show. Okay, week in review, and it was another good week for the stable. Dash for Dreams. She's a bit of a quiet achiever, isn't she? She's now won 6 from 18 and only been out of the placings on 5 occasions, so she always turns up.
Yeah, she's a beauty, Adam. Really is a lovely mare. She's, I think this preparation, she's matured a lot more. Boris took control of the race when he rolled to the front on her and was never really in doubt. So she's a nice mare with a in store for a good preparation, I'm sure.
Great record. Does it get tricky now that she's done so well to have a great record like that? But how do you go placing her now?
Yeah, well, she's getting up there where it hurts now. 6 races, the ratings are getting up a bit high, and she's obviously got to go to Saturday level now. And she was only beaten a couple of lengths in a good quality listed race last preparation. So you never know, we might just find something around that sort of level this time.
Okay, very good. Well, congratulations to the owners there, and a couple of good place getters too. Valley of Dreams went close at Ipswich on Saturday.
She went super. I mean, they went very slow, which come against her. It was a walkathon in front, and she would have been probably better off rolling to the front and controlling the race. But to run second was still a pretty good effort, I thought. And then Bedini's Girl, she was hampered by the race for his lack of speed. She got back and was still making ground, but the slow speed certainly cost her any chance.
Yeah, sure. We'll talk about her more because you're thinking about backing her up this week. And then Kabak ran a nice third here at Eagle Farm during the week, sort of had to go between horses.
Yeah, very happy with Kabak. And we're very happy with Boris's assessment after the race too. He said that he felt he'd probably get 12-1400 this time around, which is good. We'd always sort of had him in a category as being a sprinter, but he relaxed really well, but he showed a bit of tenacity too under pressure. So I think now we'll just step him up in distance, and he's not too far off a win.
Okay, well, another good week for the stable. Okay, well, it was a big week at the sales. As we mentioned, you had your hand up quite a few times, and you've brought home a great group of, I guess, great value yearlings.
They were, yeah. I tried to, look for value there, and had to go to a couple of expensive ones, but missed out there. But particularly a filly that we really liked, but was able to secure a really nice colt there by Encryption out of Tarix, who was quite a good galloper. I thought he was just a beautiful style of a colt. Don't know how long we'll keep him a colt, but he's certainly probably the horse that I thought out of all of them, he's probably going to be the one that I think is going to cop the early workload.
Okay, could be an early running type there.
Well, he seems strong enough, you know, he's sort of got the body shape and type that he's going to be able to handle the workload, so time will tell. Very
good. Well, let's go through the others also. A grey colt, he's a striking looking fellow by Better Than Ready out of Lemon Sweet.
By the all-conquering Better Than Ready, yeah, they were certainly in the mix there on dual day, so it's nice to be able to get a colt like this fella. He was a racy horse, I thought. Wasn't your typical Better Than Ready brown. He was a grey, so he's thrown more to the Bradbury's luck side. But just thought he had a bit of a swagger about him, which I liked. And the way that he walked and carried himself was quite impressive.
Okay, and speaking of Better Than Ready, you also purchased another who's a half to Goldschlager and also Slick Shooter that you have in the stable.
Nice horse, yeah. He's probably going to take a little bit of time. He's not going to be in the first half of the 2-year-old season. But, as we said, he's Better Than Ready, so you can never put a line through when they get up and running.
Yeah, sure, and obviously you know the family well, so you've had an opinion of those two horses.
Yeah, well, she's won 2 races, Gold Slick, and she's a nice mare. Slick Shooter's unraced, but he's a horse that I've got a bit of time for.
Okay, and then you also purchased a Spill the Beans Maggie Me in partnership with Strong Bloodstock.
Lovely filly, yeah, just had a kind nature, beautiful body, and carried herself in a way that you like to see. big strong back end on her. I just thought that she was good value at the price what we paid for her, 30,000.
Okay, very good. And then the other filly was another lovely filly for the Game of Thrones lovers, Dracarys, on the natural.
Yeah, Dracarys. Just a magnificent type. There was only a handful of those Dracarys on the sale, but I thought she was a very racy filly. Another one that I thought she had a walk on her, which suggested that she would be able to get up and go early, and just had a good sharp body to her. So yeah, really excited to get them all broken in and going.
Yeah, very good. So that's the next step for them. Obviously, they have a bit of a holiday after their yearling preparation, so they've gone to the paddock, and then you'll look at breaking them in?
Yeah, they'll have a little bit of a break. Then they'll get broken in, and we'll just assess them. They'll have little short stints in and out, and you know, probably by the early sort of April, May, we'll have some sort of an idea of what ones are going to be able to get up and run.
Very good. Well, yeah, between the January purchases and now the March purchases, you've got a nice crop coming through the ranks. So if anyone does want any more information, you can email admin@munceracing.com.au. Okay, owner education time, and this week we're catching up with your long-term farrier, Gary Dagnall, who's been a part of your operation for many years. And if anyone's been around the stable whenever Chris and Gary are here at the same time, there's often lots of banter, and that's a bit of a feature. But obviously, you got a mutual respect there, and he's been a great farrier for you.
Certainly is. He's been with me pretty much since I started, and you know, I always have a dig at him about certain things, and he has a dig at me. But it's I certainly, from a farrier's point of view, it's a tough gig, it's a tough job, and I remember when I was young, I told my father never to teach me how to shoe a horse because it's not one thing I wanted to learn. But Gary does a very good job. I've never really had horses with any hoof problems that he's had any that he couldn't fix. And for that reason, I certainly do respect the work he does. He does a good job, and he's a very good farrier.
And obviously, from a trainer's point of view, and then therefore owners, the foot is such an important part of...
So important. Yeah, it's a classic old saying, no foot, no horse, and it's certainly right, no hoof, no horse. You've got to have your horses sound and healthy and not lame, and we're pretty lucky in this stable. We don't have many, touch wood, too many horses with too many hoof problems.
All right, well, we gave Chris and Gary the mic, and Chris fired a few questions at him to hopefully tell everyone some insights about what's involved in farrier work and the different shoes and things he uses.
Yeah, just cleaning out all the sole, you know, and the bars.
So what are you doing?
I'm cleaning out the soles and the bars, you know, before I nip them.
And what do you do that for? Why do you clean that out?
To make sure that there's no build-up and they don't get crushed and cause bruising, you know.
Where do they mostly get bruising from if you don't do it properly?
In the heels.
In the heels.
And in the bar areas here, you know.
So that's doing that's an important part of putting new shoes on.
Yeah, you got to clean them all out, you know, make sure there's no necrotic areas.
And so what do you do with horses with any sorts of issues like that, where they've got crushed heels and...
Well, if they got crushed heels, we normally, if they get sore, we'll normally put a heart bar on them to relieve the pressure off the heels so the frog takes the weight until they get better, you know.
And what's the most common type of hoof soreness that you see in racehorses?
Heels, inside heels.
Inside heels.
Yeah. From the work they do.
Yeah.
It's just from their work, you know, gallop work and stuff like that.
So there's a bit of a myth that racehorses have no heels because they're cut away, but that's not true, is it?
I don't think so.
No.
No. I mean, people go, oh, look how flat their feet are, but they're not really, you know.
It's just through the power and the pounding of the racetrack.
Yeah. Just a pound in the work.
So what time do you start of a day, Gary, when you come in the stables? Normally about
I'd like to say 6 o'clock.
Normally lunchtime?
No, I'd say around about 9-ish, you know. That's an early day.
And how long do you last for? An hour, 2 hours?
No, I can go. I've been known to go 4 hours.
So what's the day entail for you? You leave home and
They sit in traffic for an hour and a half before I get here.
Yeah, but you enjoy it when you get here. You enjoy the banner, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Oh, I love it.
And how many horses would you shoe in a day, do you think, roughly?
Oh, really, I only shoot 4 or 5. If it's a big day for me, it'll be 6, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing with horses as well is, you know, like, you need to get rid of the flares. Like, they can't, if they get flares, the foot just follows that. So you get rid of all the flares on the outside wall, you know, as much as you can.
So what about when horses, you hear horses having a club foot?
Yeah, well, that's when they got more heel on that foot than the other one. They grow more heel. They don't know if it's because the tendon shorter or the bones longer or whatever. But they definitely got more heel, and they look, yeah, and it makes the other one look flatter.
So what do you do for those? You just got to shoe them differently, obviously.
Yeah, you get any, because if you try to shoe them the same as the other foot, if you lower, because a lot of them go, oh, lower the heel. If you lower the heel too much, they become dishy. Because the toes hitting the ground too hard, and then it all starts to dish, you know. So you just back off the flare and you lower the heels. You don't take too much off the toe, but you lower the heels, you know, to get a nice flat surface, you know.
So you've been with me how many years since I've started? Basically 4 years, 5 years, probably more.
Well, it'll be over 5 now.
So I remember
I haven't had a pay rise either.
you don't deserve it. You should be reimbursing me for putting up with you for that long. Now I remember the first horse, the first trick horse was Wicked Intent.
Yep.
And
Wicked
he
Intent.
He had ordinary feet, didn't he?
Yeah, he'd had a bit of laminitis and no heels. He was flat, that one.
But you managed to get him right. You put what did we put in him? A pad?
No, didn't we?
A gel pad, a mesh gel pad.
Yeah, but we glued the shoes on.
Yeah.
We were gluing the shoes on because his walls were rubbish.
Remember, you put like a gel you put a gel cushion.
Yeah,
in there,
we put mesh in under the shoe and then fill that with the 2-pack gel, the hoof pack.
And then he went on and he won another couple of races after being close to being retired.
Yeah.
We were able to sort of got him back and go and won another couple of races with him. Do you think that was your doing, or what do you think? Hey?
I'd like to say that, but you know. Oh, well, he just needed a bit of help, didn't he?
Yeah. But it worked. And then what about my magic walk on those horses that walk out lame? That got that horse to win, you know?
Yeah, Chris has got, I can't remember the name of that horse.
Cawthon's Power.
Yeah. Walked it out and it was lame. And then Chris said, I'll fix it, and he done 2 walks and it got sound. He does the magic walk. It wouldn't be the fact that I had to take a nail out and just check it. You know? It was Chris.
But you also had them real nice thick shoes that I like on them.
Yeah, the nice wide aluminium ones.
Yeah, they worked on him.
Yeah, they're good.
So how many different sorts of shoes do you have, roughly?
There's probably about 4 or 5 different plates and stuff you can use on them. I'll go and grab one in a minute and show you a couple of them.
And when they put heart bars on them, do you like racing them, or just are they just
Well, I think it's all right to race them, but I don't think most trainers don't like them because they reckon they lose ground, you know, because of the bar. But I just figure that if they're comfortable, it's better to have the bar on than have them with normal shoes and be sore, you know. Yeah, that's a heart bar shoe. Yeah, that's a factory one, but we shape them, or you can get big shoes like we got on Tiptoes there, and we weld the bars in because they've got such big feet, you know.
So what sort of horses do you put them on? Horses with?
Yeah, well, Tiptoes, like, he's a classic because he came in with really bad feet, and then he was all right for a couple of weeks, and he started going sore in the heels. So that's actually off of him. He's a big-footed horse, and so I have to weld the bars in. And he's had them on. He had them on for about 4 weeks, and he's come good now. And he's just back in that actual shoe about a nice big wide roller-toed shoe, and they work really well.
So explain the roller toe. What's the benefits of a roller toe?
The roller toe is where you don't have a wear bar as well. They look wedged, but they're actually not. They're just almost a rocker toe, you know. And so they give and they wear down pretty fast, so it takes all the pressure off the wall and the joints and that, you know. And it sort of almost gives them it shortens the foot up as they're going pretty much. And they work very, very well. And aluminium like that, it'll absorb 8 times the concussion of a steel shoe, so it's a lot better. And then you've got, oh, you've seen that, that's just a one we put. You can see the difference in the foot, in the size of the foot, that one and that one. I mean, this thing takes about a size 9, and in fact a size 9 is too bloody small for that one. But that's sort of pretty average, you know. And these big-footed horses, they get more problems, I think, just because of their weight, you know. Anyway, and then there's, that's another shoe we put on. That's a plate, but a wider one, and that's again got a bit of a rocker toe and really good for those horses with dishy walls, you know, and just helps them break over, because it's all about breakover. And then there's a bonded plate. You like them, don't you?
I do.
Got them on Everlast.
Yeah.
No, but the bonded plates, all they are, they got like a polyurethane bond, bit of cushioning. It's glued to bonded to that plate, and it just really helps take the sting out of the ground, you know, with the horses that really feel concussion. And then the steel shoes, all we really use are these, a nice light training shoe. and they keep them on until they start the race, and then they go in plates, and they stay in plates, don't they?
So what about tips? Have you got any tips at all?
Tips. I don't have any. We did have a horse that used to have tips.
Corral,
Yeah, tips sort of just. I don't have any, but a tip's just probably the second nail on. We just have it. We cut the shoe off there, and we just nail that on for race day. If they got really sore heels or foot problems really bad, that's what we do.
And you think they work, tips?
They did the Torello, didn't they? Yeah, they do, but I don't believe you can leave them on, because then you've got the toes too long and the heels they just don't look comfortable, you know. But they're all right for the race day, because we used to pull them off, didn't we, the next day or a day or so. And I used to say to them, pack them up underneath so that it's a bit more level.
All right, Gary, well, thanks for your time. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah, I am.
That's only the second horse you've shod today, but well done.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, thank you very much.
I'll keep you at it. I don't want to distract you.
No, okay.
Well done. Thank you, Gary.
Goodbye.
Okay, time to get into the weekend preview. Racing at Doomben on Saturday. Bedini's girl, you mentioned her earlier. You decided to back her up at Doomben on Saturday in a cutest 3-year-old handicap?
Yeah, well, she's done really well through the week, Adam. I don't really think she put under too much stress there last Saturday at Ipswich, so I think the 1350 it's in a new territory with her, but I think she's looking for it. She should be able to race right on the speed there, either in front or second, third, and I think that she'll be very competitive on the way she's working, the way that she's come through last Saturday.
I guess people that are looking at Saturday's run, she's better than that, isn't she?
Well, she is. I know, as I mentioned earlier, lack of speed in the race didn't work for her. She jumped very well and then was taken back, and I don't really think that suited her. So Thursday, she'll be just right on the speed there, either in front or second or third, and she'll take a bit of running down.
Okay. We then move over to the cutest 3-year-old handicap over the 2000. So we're getting into the staying trips now. Military Gambler and Southern Stock, who come out of the same race last start. What did you make of their efforts, and what are you expecting here?
I thought Military Gambler, under the circumstances, ran very well. He was wide and put under pressure a long way from home, and was used up quite a bit early. And for him to still battle on and run fourth, I thought it was a very good run. Saturday, I'll be probably just instructing Boris to ride the horse wherever he's comfortable, and now that he's a few runs in, that could mean that he gets a bit further back than what he had been racing, but I'll leave that up to Boris when he leaves the barriers to work that out. But he's done very well. I think he's looking for 2,000 metres, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles it. The other horse was just a bit of a mystery. I couldn't work out. He didn't really show any speed, and whether he just didn't like the track and didn't want to stretch out on the track, I'm not too sure. Whether it was second up after a hard run first up. I mean, there's a million reasons you can come up with, but I've got to take him on trust. He's done enormous since then, and he looks great, so I can't really find too many excuses for him. But I think now we're getting up to 2,000 metres is where it's going to suit this guy.
Yeah, well, he's obviously, potentially targeting the Derby, isn't it? So this is where you'd like to see him shining.
He is, but it's the same thing. Like, I'll be just let Larry ride the horse in his own way on Saturday, whether he gets back a bit or whether he races on the speed. I'm going to have to let Larry work that out and let him travel where he wants to.
Okay, well, exciting to see how those go. Good luck to connections there. We then move over to the Provincials. Gold Coast Saturday, failed to mention, is entered for a maiden plate over the 1400. It is an emergency day. Yeah,
well, if he gets a run in the race, he'll compete. He's done terrific, this horse. He's really worked quite well since his last start, which improved and ran fourth, albeit on the poly track. But he needs a run. He's been scratched because of bad barriers and everything, bad tracks and wet weather and whatnot. So he'll run no matter what on Saturday, and I think he'll run a cheeky race.
Okay, very good. Well, it was an improved effort last start, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And then we turn our attention to Sunday, Provincials, Tiptoes, who we've mentioned on the show a few times, now set to...
Yeah, well, Tiptoes has probably some chance of getting put on a float out into the middle of Australia somewhere where she can bring down rain, because every time she's in, it starts to rain. So, and we get dealt up a heavy track, which she doesn't like. So I'm hopeful that we finally get her to the races on Saturday. She's been screaming to go for the last month. And due to bad barriers and wet tracks, we haven't been able to. So she's in good order. She's drawn a bit tricky on Sunday, but I'm sure she'll run a cheeky race. Okay, well, be good to see her in action after trialling well. And then Correa, who ran well last start, lines up in a Class 1 plate over the mile. Yeah, well, he went really good the other day. Big weight on his back and hadn't run for 5 weeks. Saddle slipped on him, so for him to still run second, I thought was a good job. I think he's drawn a bit better on Sunday. He's still got a little bit of weight to carry, but it's only a Class 1 race, and I do expect him to be very hard to beat.
Okay, very good. Well, there we go. There's the runners for the weekend. Good luck to yourself and connections over the weekend.